Now, greetings, friends. Welcome to the third day of session 2 of Naval Seat Therapy. Now, let's discuss a little about brain diseases. In this, we observe how nowadays we mostly see that nature in science, when someone becomes tired and overwhelmed by modern science and systems, we should also be prepared for that. For such terminal diseases, once someone embraces this natural science, they do not turn to other systems again. Now we will discuss different aspects of the brain, that our brain, which we had told you about at the beginning, we will do that. Our brain, as mentioned earlier, 60% is the reasoning part in the human body. Our other brain controls psychological functions. Everything we think, we send commands downwards. That is how all 10% is the physical part, meaning your body as you see it after death is only 10%. 10% is our 5 elements, 20% emotion. Note that all these aspects are present in animals, but in humans, reason accounts for 60%. The brain performs evaluation and calculation. One can resolve past karma, the next can attain liberation, moksha. Everything in life can be achieved through the brain, and if we gain control over its functions, we see that most problems today arise from it. Now, how do we consider it? We observe that the brain is just like a walnut, you may have noticed. This idea comes from the principle of equivalence that your walnut can be utilized. There are the same wrinkles there as well. Then after this, ours is also the same. This is the same issue we can address. In Ayurveda, we mentioned Brahmi, Ashwagandha, Jatamansi, and Shankpushpi. All are used in oiling and more recently in shakes for brain-related problems. Bacopa, known as Bacha, is a nerve-related powder. The brain functions somewhat like a transformer. Electricity is generated and then distributed further. This electricity represents nerve signals. Baca is also a powder specifically for nerves. So what is the brain? It functions like a transformer. Electricity generated at one point is then distributed further, reaching your homes. The spine functions as our yin and yang, representing the brain's energy and warmth in the organs. This yang energy is in the spinal cord. As mentioned, it is split 50-50 between your right and left lobes. For example, your right brain usually thinks, and when you attend a class, your left brain processes it and acts accordingly. There is coordination in between. Anxiety means, for example, if there are 10 workers, the first passes to the second passes it to the third, and in this way, the items eventually reach their destination. This is what anxiety is. The first passes to the fourth to the eighth, and the second also passes. The items keep circulating continuously. This is what anxiety means. In the coordination of nerve cells, when this disease occurs, some area of your brain lobe degenerates. For example, paralysis occurs, or you develop Parkinson's disease, where cells harden. Then your white matter and gray matter in the brain float somewhat. You know your brain weighs about 2 kilograms, but you don't feel it because tons of ships float on water similarly. Your brain floats in cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, which is like oiling. The nose is the gate of the brain. As you mentioned, when the nose was blocked, we recommended putting coriander oil in it. Doing so removed the excess heat and swelling there and cleared the nasal blockage. When treating young patients with active viral infections like encephalitis or meningitis or bacterial infections, we approach through the nose. I once saw a patient in a coma with encephalitis.
You also
I
have a
administered garlic
gut-brain
extract through the nose,
axis,
which we
and just from its
discussed
smell,
earlier,
since garlic is antiviral,
involving the
viral
vagus
encephalitis
nerve
inflammation
that comes from
subsided,
our brain.
and he sat up, even though
The
modern
vagus
allopathic
nerve
medicine had
controls
completely thrown
functions
the
in the
towel.
brain from that
The nose
area.
is the gate of the brain.
As I
So
mentioned
whatever we want
before,
to
the
send,
sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems regulate bodily functions, including pain responses. This is your vagus nerve originating from the brain. It comes and its entire innervation area extends from here to there. We will explain the full details to you. Slice, this is the vagus nerve. See how many things it connects to. The occipital lobe at the back of the head, the lungs, your heart, liver, and intestines. We even posted a photo of this in the Telegram group for you. In Telegram, it is exactly the one running from the stomach all the way up to the brain. This is called the gut-brain axis. Earlier, in our rituals to protect a child from the evil eye, people used to put a black dot behind the ear because that is where the vagus nerve pathway comes through behind the ear. Its pathway comes from there, so it is cooled at that spot. Nowadays, patients say, I feel anxious. Test here, and you won't find anything. See, behind you, these pictures that we shared with you in the Telegram group are posted in the Telegram group. This comes from the brain, then your Molly G. It's like a string. Now, during Diwali, we put up electric string lights. There are bulbs like these. These organs are attached: intestines, small intestine, liver. This is a bundle of bile canal house. The gut is what is connected to the brain. It forms the brain axis. In our brain, there's the blood-brain barrier connected to the brain, which forms the gut-brain axis. That's why our brain has the blood-brain barrier. Even if you take medicine, reaches the brain, who can go there? Only your bacteria can go. Only yours, in our electrohomeopathy. Ver1 means there is also medicine for your inner mucous membrane, which is antibacterial. This is your simple one, onion and garlic. So when you use these in oil form, it goes directly to the brain, addressing problems like antiphlebitis, meningitis, and degenerative diseases such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, where cells have hardened and the inner white matter has stiffened. Coordination is disrupted, brain functions decline, and effects extend down to the spine. Otherwise, where else would it go? When it cannot easily pass through the transformer, metaphorically speaking, how would it proceed downward? This is the same with your vagus nerve. We will understand how to control it. Previously, we discussed the frontal lobe in our brain. Now, what does the frontal lobe do? We provided a chart explaining its functions, like attention. For instance, if a patient comes with problems, like a child who does not study, lacks attention, and then cannot speak, cannot write, lacks concentration, and has personality issues, has difficulty with problem solving. So all these issues relate to the frontal lobe. Now that we've come to the frontal lobe as you participate in courses, we also divide this, which falls under heteroenergy. It means high hotness, including wind heat, which is a key aspect of hotness. If we also divide wind heat a liter of hot, it is termed hetero. In terms of chakras, this corresponds to our Sahasrara chakra. It comes under that energy. Now, regarding excess hotness, I want to explain where it will be directed. So according to this correspondence, when applied, all attention and concentration occur when the legs are cold, stomach is soft, legs are warm, and head is cold. Then no doctor is needed. Your stomach will stay soft with oil, your legs warm where spinal nerves run, and the brain will relax and cool down properly. This cooling effect affects your brain, including the frontal region. Now, you might wonder how we know this. We have posted a chart in the Telegram group that shows the division of brain parts related to heteroenergy. You can view it there, especially the frontal brain part, as explained. Parietal lobe. Now see, whenever a problem occurs, such as paralysis, there is a line indicating the frontal lobe. Then in the parietal lobe, it is written motor strip, meaning that if a clot has formed here, then here. The cells died. So from here onwards, all the nerve impulses traveling down ceased. This motor strip controls raising the hand. If the hand cannot be raised, and if one cannot speak properly, this condition is called paralysis. It is called paralysis. Now here, if you focus on the ear, if paralysis has occurred on the opposite left paralysis, then it is in the right brain. This is called paralysis. If it has occurred, what will you do here on the ear? Here is its photo from the left and right. I have posted it in the Telegram group for you. You can see it entirely, that we have hair there. Blow and apply clove. See what simply happens there. That the axis has dryness. Coldness or OCD stress may occur, as I explained. What happens is that the yellow substance will disappear, so add turmeric with clove to make an oil. Then apply cloves with paper tape to the motor and sensory nerve areas. Apply it on the opposite side of the paralysis. If the left side is paralyzed, apply it on the right side and vice versa. This application with paper tape on the paralyzed side helps. Apply it on the right side. If paralysis is on the right, apply it there on the left side. It will start to get hot. Sensations will start now, you tell me. That yes, it should happen on the first day. That depends on the severity of the patient's condition. How much damage has been done. So we need to understand the concept. To understand so that, accordingly, the body will accept it. This means that we need to understand the concept properly, which is why a child is kept in a class for a whole year rather than teaching everything in one day, so they can properly receive and internalize the information. We must proceed continuously and logically. Now, which lobe performs which functions? Your hypothalamus is also located in the parietal lobe and is involved in heat energy regulation. It is involved in heat energy. Now, its functions include aspects like lack of awareness, writing, naming, and similar processes. If you remember the name, it's the operator's fault. Some find mathematics difficult. You need to help the child become strong in mathematics. So related to hotness, you also noticed a key deficiency at the tip on G. Whatever is lacking, it's not necessarily in mathematics. The child understands internally, but their brain has anxiety affecting access. There will be heat. You will benefit from coriander. If there's a deficiency, you will benefit from nutmeg. You have done the task of filling the ocean in a small pot. In this, you were also informed about G and Ayurvedic herbs. We have covered the natural aspects, the system, and the application as well. Basically, we have designed the entire course around this small section, allowing anyone who wants full details to learn step by step and build upon it. Next, we move to a new topic, which includes the occipital lobe. Look at the back. This purple area controls your vision. Regarding hearing issues like tinnitus, people often say the nerve is damaged. Although your eyes are fine, vision is controlled from the back. Similarly, for hearing problems like tinnitus, it's often believed the nerve is damaged. Your eye is fine, but from behind, the optic nerve appears weak or impaired. This happens in the occipital lobe. This is the vagus nerve center. Next on the side is your temporal lobe. Detailed information on where to increase or decrease functions is provided throughout your chart. We cover all this in full detail. You can decrease or increase it there. Now, we come to the most important part, your vagus nerve, and why it is being discussed. Look, these days, high blood pressure is common. Your brain is controlling it. What is brain anxiety? It means you keep dwelling on one thought over and over, getting stuck on it. Thought coordination has stopped where life has completely come to a stop. So, in this context for you, this is called anxiety and stress. Now, this stress has been created here. So what happened next? Again, the signal's going from here. Now, how many types do you have? There are about 12 types of renal nerves or something like that. Some go to the face, some go to the ear, but mainly to the vagus nerve, which we refer to as the gut-brain axis. And this is your navel right now. When you shake, the effect reaches the brain and all the nerves. It travels this way. If modern science says the effect moves from the navel to the brain and spreads through all the nerves, drug effect, then it is called the mesenteric nervous system, specifically the vagus nerve connected to the stomach. The nerve, as shown in the sketch, transmits this energy from here. It has gone to the nerves and the brain. It travels from the brain to the spine, then to the innervation areas, reaching every cell in the body. It's clear that we are not discussing energy that can be seen. Now, look at the electricity. You can't see it, but it's working and functioning. Its application is visible. This is the gut-brain axis. This is our vagus nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, which is a part of the cranial nerves. It is a part of the cranial nerves. It emerges from here, back of the occipital lobe. Now, where will we use this in the hand? I told you about our thumb. Behind our thumb, behind which is the vagus nerve. Regarding this correspondence, under the nail, this. Behind the thumb, under the nail, look, this is on your yang side. This is the inside, the yang side. Look, under the nails, then your spine starts here. This area is part of the vagus nerve. But whatever treatment we give will act on the vagus nerve, meaning the patient is having hiccups, as if the brain repeatedly, an order is coming, it's moving the diaphragm, and now you're experiencing disturbance here. Apply coriander here for a cooling effect. It's like the whistle of a pressure cooker. Why is it whistling? Turn off the gas, the heat has increased. Cooling here will stop your hiccups below. Then you might experience palpitations and dizziness, but the heart is fine. This is the chakra, okay? First, the lower bulb is okay. The problem is where the wire connects at the top. That's the vagus nerve. So you will do cooling here. Now, where does this pass? I showed you the vessels. The wire is connected behind the ear where the problem is. That's the vagus nerve. So you will cool here. Now, where does this pass? I showed you nearby. Just behind the ear is our TW17 point in Chinese acupuncture. Here, apply a cooling ice pack behind the head. Use an ice pack, apply clay or coriander, whatever you prefer. Whatever you want to do, if you cool there, it will show you an immediate effect. Now, this is the vagus nerve. Plus, where does it enter? It passes behind the head, inside the ear, then where the effect has occurred. Now tell me, which one do you... When you are weak, someone can slap you anytime, worsening your condition and affecting it. Now you need to tone it down, which means you'll get nervous. There are palpitations, so cooling was done. Now the heart's echocardiogram will analyze and confirm the condition. Apply the Shaves apple seat. Similarly, on correspondence, we can use this in the application as well. Yang deficiency. This provides you with the complete chart converted for you. So we have included the same English dubbed video in quotes. If you have any issues, you can also watch it in Hindi. We have also used the facility and the additive, took the app. In that, we tried our best to help you. It is connected to natural science and benefits people. And then we observe that the vagus nerve that passes through the occipital lobe now acts in different ways. We will explore in which ways this will fully help us. It affects every organ below. Then you see that the patient often has to strain hard, and the stomach doesn't clear sometimes. You press the finger behind the ear on the right side. The right side is controlled by the opposite side of the brain. The last part of our large intestine, the sigmoid colon, is located horizontally there. It doesn't completely squeeze. Why? We contract when we are cold. In cold conditions, we contract so that fully. It didn't happen because of excess heat. So if we press the vagus nerve on the left or right side there, like when you are seated at a tool, it will affect you. If it controls and presses the mesenteric nerve system of the sigmoid colon, then that effect will occur there. It will appear. This is our sigmoid colon. Look horizontally opposite. It is controlled. This is how we treated it. I have told you in many places, Dania, that the entire stomach will be cleaned. This is the back disc. If you study full DIP MBBS anatomy, you will understand what it is connected to. It is connected to L5. Look at the large intestine. There is a blockage here due to heat. When you apply a cooling effect to the bulging disc, Danica, it penetrates inside because it is connected to nerves from the L4 and L5 spine levels. Cooling reaches there. We contract in the cold, so the bulge and the heat will shrink. People ask how this shrinks and what connection the stomach has with the waist. You can explain it this way. Unless you explain logically to the patient, especially nowadays with AI, even small children ask why. The system understands the answer completely, and only then will the patient understand. If he comes across it, he will follow it as well. You could say it randomly, but nowadays even children won't accept it unless you explain the answer logically. Everyone will agree because our nervous system is spread throughout the entire body. Every nerve behind it extends to the nerve plexus. The whole brain connects there, then travels down the spine. As I mentioned, look at which part the sigmoid colon connects to. L4 and L5 are linked to the large intestine. It's all documented. Or see L1 and L2, they're also related to the large intestine. So where the stomach problem occurred, there is an effect on the vertebra behind it in the spine. There is a pipe-like hollow organ with nerves passing through, but nothing is there. Why did the back pain happen? The lumbar region is the house of the kidneys, and behind it are the kidneys as well. If there is heat or deficiency there, then we also see which bones connect to what. Our 5-element chart taught us the kidneys' connections. So, as you follow this chart, you will find logical answers to every question. When you explain this to others, they will agree. See, these bones are connected to your kidneys and cold energy. These vertebrae are therefore affected, and that is your. Since the problem originates from the spine, we also observe other similar diseases. You need to calm and regulate the vagus nerve. By doing this, your entire stomach's parasympathetic nervous system will be restored. Then, almost every problem that occurs nowadays stems from this. It then goes into the spine. Simply put, the brain accounts for 80%, and 20% goes to the spine. If this relaxes, what will it relax from? From the gut-brain axis in the stomach, and it will progress 50 units along the spine. Then your balance will be achieved. You will become healthy because balance is what you have is life. If the balance tilts more towards cold, problem. If it's too hot, then problems occur. In this way, all these problems arise. Now we and also discuss diseases, such as, do you have a hearing problem? Did anyone ever ask you? There is a tinnitus problem, or someone is hard of hearing, hearing high-pitched sounds in old age. Now look at this lung pathway, which we saw in the 5-element table, is connected with energies. So, according to body parts, this belongs to heat energy, meaning the small intestine. Small intestine. Now, a patient who had COVID stopped hearing because drinking the decoction increased the heat. When the heat increases, the body's 5-element table shows an increase in heat energy. Look at the chart written according to the body's holes. It connects to your sensory nerve system. According to this, it belongs to our cold energy, but based on the body's holes, the nose is under wind energy. So your nose is categorized under wind energy. Now this belongs to heat energy. If we want to clear a blockage in the nose that causes snoring, we need to cool the wind lever. If the ear is blocked and we want to clear it, the small intestine needs treatment. This aligns with modern science and acupuncture, where all meridians, including the ear meridian, when heat is reduced and cooling is applied, hearing stops if a sensory nerve hole is blocked. In old age, cold energy sets in. There are 3 bones, like in old clocks with a pendulum. A big rod turns another, then a third follows, producing the smallest vibrations. Inside there is a liquid. This is the cochlear nerve. From here comes the auditory nerve and then the vestibular nerve, meaning some people experience dizziness. When that happens, know that it is due to water. Now, why is this water present? When a sharp sound comes from here, our nerves are very delicate and even thinner than a strand of hair. Now, if it doesn't require that much vibration, then you call out to someone through the water. Your intensity will decrease. It means only the exact amount of vibration or pulsation should reach the nerve. Right here is the vestibular nerve that causes dizziness, as patients describe it. When I change position in bed, I feel dizzy, so the treatment is done through the ear. The vagus nerve in the abdomen needs cooling. Near the ear, you apply a cooling system using watermelon seeds, ash gourd seeds, and the same system on the navel. This helps with dizziness. In acupuncture, this is called liver fire, internal creation, and internal wind attacking the head, which causes dizziness or vertigo. This liver heat rises to the head. Why does liver heat rise to the head? Because of the meridian system we discussed. The liver's yang organ is the gallbladder, which ends near the ear. Through the gallbladder, internal wind reaches the head. Nowadays, some people shake their necks because of internal wind. All sciences, modern science, natural science, and acupuncture, point to this same concept. You have to connect, you have to coordinate. So this gives you, just like this, your vibration. Now what happens is in old age, these bones develop osteoporosis, meaning bones. You have become bloated, affecting your blood. Acidosis has occurred, menopause has begun. Now hormones are being released from higher up. Women have reached menopause. Now the lower organs have stopped working, although hormones continue to be produced higher now those up, hormones the will lower come organs down. are no longer The functioning. effect will as appear in the women blood. reach menopause. So that's why it causes hot flashes. This is called hot flashes because these hormones are causing hot flashes. Enzymes are affected by heat. So these hormones will be released. Then they will go and then where they will cause damage to you. That will lead to osteoporosis, damaging your bones. We will do that process, meaning softening the bone. Now, what can we do for you? There is definitely inflammation related to your age. Between 30 to 40 years, there is inflammation. You work while moving around, and even in old age, you maintain a routine. You have to make a routine and stay busy to keep your strength and energy. Otherwise, you become completely retired. If you remain inactive, these joints will stiffen, then the bones will develop osteoporosis and become brittle, which will affect you. These steps involve your three bones, the incus, malleus, and stapes. Now, the pendulum won't produce as much vibration, so what should we do? You will hear it. If the vibration is insufficient, we will use a machine to amplify it. So why does this concern your bone? Nature applies photoamplification, and the machine will amplify weight as well. Now, if you want to fix it, what must we do to repair this bone, which represents the water element? Cold energy items such as watermelon and coriander. The more we increase the rhythmic pressure, the stronger it becomes, and its heat reduces. Softness will decrease, which will affect your function. Now, someone might say, I'm not patient, or what about my nerves? My ear is perfectly fine, so your treatment is related to the nerves. Then it will be given to the ear concerning the nerves. Your jaffle is what you were explained and all the nerves that are related to you. As we have seen in this, I have inserted a picture into the body. The lower abdomen is your vata area. So for vata, I told you about mustard oil and the quantity. Your clove oil covers the entire vata. This entire area the middle is the warts area. Then the middle spet I told you about mustard oil, and above is the scuff area. Above DIA in the brain area. So here we have the KF. Now what happens is the effect, it became clear, the air goes up to the head. This will cut off in 10 minutes and will reconnect. Then it goes up to the head again. So the vata has increased. Now that vata has increased, affecting both the stomach and the brain, apply ajwain to reduce it. Apply clove oil to reduce vata. Vata means wind. Things that reduce wind are commonly called wind remedies. It means that wind, vata has increased. Vadi means obstruction. For vata, warm things like mustard oil are beneficial as they provide lubrication, since velocity, viscosity, and surface tension are low and lubrication is high, it's ideal. There's also guidance on what increases or decreases pitta. We've tried to help fully by giving you all the details. Now, you have to prepare a dish by combining all these ingredients and share it with the community so that everyone's well-being improves, which in turn benefits you. This describes your body's system, your tendons. Regarding tendons, they are like nerves going inside, like the string of a piano under tension. Your wellness will happen naturally. This is your tendon system. Does this nerve go inside the tendons? Like a piano key, keeps being pressed. Then that is called tenet. For tenet, I have provided you all that our ear can, things related to hearing as such. Turmeric, Nirgundi, Bacha herb. Cinnamon means where there is nervousness. Be sure to include Bacha and these herbs if there is any obstruction. Makoe, Giloy, Neem, turmeric, Nirgundi, Bacha, and cinnamon. If there's an obstruction, cinnamon reduces cholesterol. If circulation is needed, add Arjuna. We had a complete detailed course of 16 classes on psychological, vibrational, and Indian herbs, which I explained fully and gave you the notes for. This is how we can treat hearing tinnitus. It can be done, and along with that, by involving the vagus nerve of the occipital lobe, where the hearing center is located, followed by the temporal lobe. There is also a hearing center where the brain has become fortified. By providing combined treatments everywhere, you will receive treatment for tinnitus and hearing loss. Then we observe that suppose the patient has developed some problem. This is your hearing loss. Now we will take this to the next step. There is hearing loss, lung problems, heart problems. So we have asthma. For example, this asthma. So in asthma, we see that this is exactly our alveoli, which are perfectly round like this. These are our cells. Look. Pneumonia has occurred, which means cold, inflammation, yellowing, and redness have set in. This has obstructed your airways. What is a cough? It is a natural phenomenon where the air clears the passage to allow airflow. The lungs are for air, oxygen. What is oxidative stress? It is when oxygen does not reach the cells. Who carries it? RBCs, red blood cells. This oxidative stress is what we are discussing, also seen in cancer. Even in cancer, if oxygen doesn't reach the cells, it causes obstruction there. It creates this problem, and now we need to fix it. We have asthma, it has weakened us, and we will use rice treatment. The original energy of that remains, and we included that statement I told you about, which can still be given. Mulethi is good for the whole throat area, which is our respiratory tract. Giloy is anti-inflammatory and boosts the immune system. It is also a very good medicine for the liver. The muscles and cartilages connected to the liver include the diaphragm, which contracts it, so we combine Giloy with it. For skin diseases, the same liver medicines like Chiranji and Neem are used. For fever caused by the liver, there is Pit-Papta. These powders are all available online. We have also explained the method to make oil. I have told you, through Nafas, their energy will reach every single cell and it will heal you. Simply, you have to proceed logically and observe. Turmeric is also anti-inflammatory and can be applied there. You can apply it. As I told you, in cases like pneumonia, wind increases and heat also rises. What is best is anti-inflammatory, you can apply it there. Cold as I told you, in cases like pneumonia, so you can use a paste of turmeric and rice. Where will you apply? On the lungs correspondence, where the effect has occurred, and also on its sources. We can apply it there. Wind originates from the liver, so we treat the wind and liver correspondence. Heat comes from the small intestine and heart, the same paste. Treatment applies there. Cold originates from the kidney and urinary bladder. Wherever the heater is active, it is also turned off where heat is felt. Simply running the heater or cooler won't eliminate the heat unless we shut off the source, using the same source for all three leads to perfect results. We will get everything, and then we also observe heart-related diseases, such as problems manifesting in the hand and cholesterol issues. We have used cinnamon. Now we will see the next part, which is about roots, where you will find. Also, add the previous part in Telegram. Imagine there are 3 separate arteries and veins, each with its own distinct area. Blockages in the hand happen according to the individual's vata and pitta nature. You can apply shockwave therapy and the blockage will open. Blockage is a calcium buildup. Modern science says it cannot be opened because the cold access has occurred. We know energy changes. If energy increases and you stop for 6 months, you get relief. Pain and everything improve within a month. But after 6 months, the blockage remains. This is from 2005, when MRI technology emerged. The body's arteries can be unblocked similarly. However, to do that, we need to explore further to identify which vein is located where. This will be covered in the next part. We have communicated this in previous parts, showing which vein is placed where. It will come in the next part. We have correspondences and shared a sample of it in the previous Dahlia Telegram group. We can solve heart-related problems in this way, for example, by considering diabetes. So in diabetes, the pancreas does not work properly. What exactly is your pancreas? Our pancreas is a gland. Now see, it contains alpha, beta, and gamma cells. The beta cells produce insulin in the pancreas. They produce insulin. I explained that insulin is your hormone and it opens the door of a cell. Now, when we say cell, it means that the receptors have become damaged, like rusted. Nowadays, many problems arise, and we see why diabetes is increasing. There is high acidosis. Just like flies, mosquitoes, and bugs appear in summer but not in winter, similarly, in your body, the acidic blood causes receptors to get clogged with harmful elements, preventing the gate from opening. So, when insulin enters, your carbohydrate sugar should enter the cell to be burned for energy. But if the gate doesn't open, the sugar can't be used properly. This stresses your cells. Now see this. These are our receptors. This is a sensory nerve. Now let's go into more detail. For example, when you feel heat, the brain receives the signal through this receptor cell. The brain then signals back, raise your hand, it's hot. This is the signal. This is its covering, this coating that comes off, as in muscular dystrophy disease. MND disease, motor neuron disease, the insulation is lost. Insulation means fat, so this oily insulation. It will recreate them again. Then the signals transfer like this. These are your synapses, both neurological and fluid-based, so these changes occur. Now this same thing in the pancreas here, insulin is produced, but rust has formed on the receptor. Rust has formed so it won't open, like a lock and key where insulin is the key. If it opens, it will enter, and entering will cause damage in the nucleus of mitochondrial cells. So it will burn now. What happens inside the cell? They are shouting that we didn't get food. We didn't get food, so what will they say? This is a problem. Your brain will order the liver, which stores it and will increase sugar, so it will be there. And the blood sugar level will increase. It will rise in your bloodstream and increase sugar levels. In the bloodstream, increased sugar will appear. So the problem is, where will insulin come from? This is the pancreas. You see, with one pancreas, insulin is produced normally. So why does insulin resistance cause high sugar levels?